And on the issue of PPEs, well, it was also a big part of what we heard from Justin Trudeau today during his daily update. Now take a listen to what we heard from the Prime Minister earlier today about this personal protective equipment.
Canada the resources we need. In the next 48 hours, we will be receiving a shipment of millions of masks by a chartered cargo flight. We're also working with provinces to transport their medical supplies when possible. Items ordered by Quebec will be on this flight. Our government has also leased a warehouse in China to help collect and distribute these items as quickly as possible. And going forward, the flights we're chartering to get the materials here include Canadian companies Cargojet and Air Canada. I want to take a moment to thank everyone, whether you're working in a warehouse, flying the plane, or part of the ground crew, for your dedication.
And again, that was the Prime Minister in front of Rideau Cottage earlier today. Our Catherine Cullen was part of that special. She tells us more now from Ottawa.
The Prime Minister says that Canada is not looking to punish or retaliate against the United States. That country looking to limit or block the export of medical gowns, gloves, and notably those N95 masks used by healthcare workers. Canada is looking at its NAFTA playbook again, digging it out, reaching out to the people around Donald Trump, trying to convince them or remind them of the special nature of the relationship between Canada and the United States. The Prime Minister has pointed out that thousands of nurses from Windsor, Ontario, cross the border every day to help out in the healthcare system in Detroit, where they are battling with the COVID-19 outbreak. It's also been pointed out that specific to those masks, some of the raw materials to actually make them come from British Columbia, pulp and paper, for instance. The Prime Minister has said he's hoping to speak to Donald Trump in the coming days about this. Canadian officials won't be specific about what portion of Canada's masks or personal protective equipment come from the United States. Now, in the meantime, officials are still working to acquire additional personal protective equipment. The Prime Minister said in 48 hours there will be a plane load with millions of masks coming into Canada. He also says that Canada has secured a warehouse in China that they're trying to coordinate funneling protective equipment through there as well. He was also asked about projections that the federal government has said it will release in terms of what will happen, or what could happen, I should say, with the COVID-19 outbreak. We saw, of course, Ontario releasing its projections yesterday. The Prime Minister says that they're still trying to bring together data from all of the provinces, align it in order to offer the best possible projections. But he says there are a range of models, some that look at scenarios of weeks or months, and some that look at scenarios that he says are much longer than that. But he says ultimately these are just projections. What is going to determine what happens with the COVID-19 outbreak in Canada is the individual actions that people take, reminding Canadians again to stay home and stay safe. Catherine Cullen, CBC News, Ottawa.